All right, cool.
Hit record, let it roll. Scales, tails, metamorphosize. We don't sugarcoat a thing. We don't chase that easy conversation. Real keepers in the chat. Habitat vivarium palladium. From the rack to the biotank. From the desert to the jungle. Cold-blooded conversation. Real talk, we walk that walk. No hide, no bait, just learn, relate. Cold blood. Real talk, same crew, one community. If you're here for the truth, then you're one of us. What's your venom? What's your poison? Let us hear about that clutch. Talk mistakes, not just wins. Share the losses, learn again. Desert sand, jungle vine. Every story on the line. From the kid with just one gecko to the gal with all the teeth. Cold-blooded conversation. Real talk, we walk that walk. No hide, no bait, just learn, relate. Cold blood. Real talk, same crew, one community. If you're here for the truth, then you're one of us. Cold-blooded conversation. Real talk, we walk that walk. No hide, no bait, just learn, relate. Cold blood. Real talk, same crew, one community. If you're here for the truth, then you're one of us.
I know.
We're live.
We are live.
Hello.
I love that. I love that intro. We are live. So that's from Samson's Snakeatorium in the States who says that. We are live. I love it. Anyway, week 20, episode 20. We are here, week 20.
Oh, my
Week
goodness.
19, episode 20. Don't get
Week
yourself
19,
confused.
week 19, episode 20. That's right, yeah, because we had the super special midweek special, didn't we? We're joined by Camden Sam this evening from Welsh Morphology. Good evening, ladies. I hope we are both well.
Hello.
It's going to be an interesting one this evening.
Yeah.
We're going to talk about reptile photography. We're going to talk about community. We're going to talk about reptiles. It's going to be good. Ethics and perception and what makes a good reptile photo. So we are. As always, we this episode contains paid sponsorship and advertising. The podcast is supported by the Reptile Keeper, a digital platform designed to help reptile exotic keepers manage collections, track husbandry, and stay organised. Fauna Lux, creators of high-quality reptile lighting solutions, including True Chroma LED technology focused on animal welfare and visual clarity. Snakes and Adders, just because. Some links, maybe affiliate links, meaning we earn a small commission at no extra charge to you guys. All promotions are disclosed in accordance with UK ASA CAP code guidelines and relevant EU regulations. Whew, it's a mouthful, that.
Have you memorised that yet?
No, it's still here. It's still here.
You got cue cards or are you reading?
I do. No, I have So we make a bullet point script. Well, I mean, I make a bullet point script, and it's just
Yeah, nothing to do with that.
It's just to steer direction. We've not actually needed it yet. If we get someone who is a little bit difficult to pull conversation out of, at least we can steer them where we want them to go. But by the time we get through to checking it, I've double checked everything off. So we do. So just a quick housekeeping guide. Let's have a look. House of Bugs. 8:30, House of Bugs was in this evening, and they left their first message at 8:30. So is it Dave? Is it House of Bugs?
Dave, yeah, Dave.
Dave, well done,
Sam's
mate.
just gone to get the ice, and she'll be back.
As it sounds. Dave, we appreciate the readiness there, mate, and at 8:30, thank you very much. Nicola from the Critters Den, Bows Beasties, House of Bugs again, Hellfire Herps, good evening, Freak 70 Wayne 1, good evening, Isabel Gaff, good evening, Bella, Bows Beasties, Richard, good evening, House of Bugs again. Good evening all. That's some intro, isn't it, by the time we get through all the housekeeping bits. Yes, it is. I'm just bullying Sam with water bugs. So I heard, like, I've been setting everything up backstage, and I've been hearing about water bugs. What's the thing about water bugs then?
Water bugs are big old beastie things, and Dave's got two. And Dave likes to send pictures to Sam, not of just water bugs, but bugs in general that she doesn't like, that gives her the creeps. So he photoshops little love hearts and stuff on there for her. Like, oh yeah, we've got
Look at the size on that.
I've got a big
Bloody hell.
box.
Is that a 3-litre bottle?
Yeah, well, I've cut the caffeine, but tonight I've had to skip my head meds and go for caffeine to stay awake, because I'm normally in bed by about 6:30.
Yeah, we discussed that
But
when
yeah,
we were first setting this
Sam
up.
doesn't like bugs.
Sam doesn't like bugs.
Yeah, Sam doesn't like a lot of bugs.
See, I'm not a spider person. I'm not a spider person. I'm trying to get over it.
Oh, damn it.
And currently in front of
she
me,
likes spiders.
currently in front of me, I have a egg sack full of jumping spiders. So
Oh, cool.
no, I'm not into.
Yeah,
I'm not
I'm
into
trying-
them really.
Jumping spiders, I'm trying to track down some eyelash spiders as a sex pair. I want to try and get them
Oh,
breeding.
yeah, we used to have them, didn't we? We've had them in the past.
We don't like true spiders.
I do like true
No, we don't.
spiders. Apparently
No.
we don't.
We don't
I
like
do. He doesn't.
I just don't like spiders. Whether they're true spiders or not, they're not for me. Not for me at all.
However, your wife does, and that means you have to have them.
Yes. So in my
it's not happening.
in my pursuit to get over my fear, I have actually bought myself a spider. So I bought myself a Grandma Stola Chaco, the golden Chaco knee, and it's the size of a flea at the minute, and I'm hoping that I can grow it up and I'll be better with it. I hope.
Yeah,
I hope.
yeah.
So I'm okay with the jumping spiders, but they're just like cartoon characters, aren't they? Well, they are cartoon characters,
They're
aren't they?
cute little things, they are.
What is it? It's
Yeah.
it's Lucas, isn't it? That's the cartoon jumping spider
Yeah,
that's all
that's
over
him.
the TV.
Yeah, that's him.
Yeah, they just. I think they look like if Disney did spiders, it would be a jumping spider.
Yeah,
Wouldn't they?
yeah.
100%.
They really would. They really would. Andy, hi, Lister Cardi. Speak to Jord from Shabbin Spinning. He's in the EU, but he will be able to supply UK spiders with them. There you go. Take a screenshot of that, me old mucker.
Where's my phone?
Cool.
I've lost
Jumping
my phone.
spiders are for pansies. I'm a pansy. I'll take it all day long. I'm a pansy.
Who said,
Doesn't bother me.
Richard. We'll have this conversation tomorrow, my good man.
That's for the eyelash jumpers there, Andy.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I'll take it
welcome,
later.
Welsh Morphs. So is it Morphs or Mythology? Because I see you use both, and photography,
Morphology.
obviously. So it's
Yeah,
Morphology.
Welsh Morphology really is the longest. It's the long name. Yeah.
Fantastic. And give us the TLDR, the too long didn't read the backstory. What brought you here today? Like, what I mean by that is, like, we all were 13. we all kept wanting to keep
right.
reptiles at that age,
You
but
got
like,
that load, then.
no, I don't want to go like that deep in it, because we all know those beginner stories. But like, what was the deciding factor of like, yes, I'm getting into reptiles? There's a difference, isn't there, between that 13-year-old kid who loves reptiles to what we have in a collection today. because the average reptile keeper doesn't have 1.2 animals. Might have 1.2 animals, but it's definitely not 1.2 animals. So what sort of led you on the road to the size of the collection and the quality of the collection that you've got today?
Obsession.
I think
Turning a hobby into a passion. It's living and breathing it. I think
it's a lifestyle now. Like I've kept for 36 years this year. I know I don't look my age, but I'm not telling you my age. But I'm older than both of you. I'm well older than her. But it really is. It really is. I was obsessed with lizards as a kid, and it's gone from there. I didn't really do the dinosaur stage much, but it was always lizards and frogs and moths and beetles and everything like that. And then I got my first one at 8, which was a long-tailed lizard, and then that died because they did in those days. And then I got my brother, my big brother, bought me a Berber skink. And then I had her, even though she was obviously wild caught, which they are, for 21 years. And by that time, I'd had frogs and corn snakes and started breeding and stuff. I'm more of a lizard person than I am a snake person, even though I do keep snakes. We do keep snakes. I love snakes, but definitely more of a lizard person. And we've only got so much space. So we are lucky to have a big house. And we pretty much keep what we want. But it is, it's mostly lizard based. There's a few more lizards I want to get yet, but that will come in time, hopefully this year. But that was it for me. And we met. Do you remember the old?
I sold you a gecko.
Do you remember the old RFUK?
They are still.
forums?
They are actually still going.
Still going. Me and Sam met on there. I bought a gecko off her, and she lived 2 hours away. And we added each other to Facebook, and it just went from there. I was married at the time. Sam had a fiance, and here we are, 16 years later. Stuck with you now.
Combined collections.
Yeah, combined collections, and we seem to have a lot more animals then.
Fantastic.
2 seconds. Belle, all I can hear is your iPad. Well, someone's making sense.
What was your first reptiles?
Mine was a long-tailed lizard.
Yeah.
And corn snakes that year in 1988.
Right.
Yeah.
I was 13 and I started with a pair of corn snakes. Jaffa and Jake. One was a normal corn snake. One was an anery corn snake. They bred for me.
Nice.
I hatched eggs in situ at the age of 13. They came out in all sorts of different shades and colours, and that's when morphs started happening, and I was like, oh, okay, this is new, this is different, these two make these things. Yep. And then that's where my breeding started, like with my first reptiles. So
fantastic. Yeah. And how old were you, Cant, when you got your first one, did you say?
8 in 1988.
8. Oh, I know how old you are.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I was guided by my big brother as well. So fantastic. He was always keeping toads and things like that.
And when did photography come into it? Who's the photographer? Oh, actually, there's 2 of you. So who's the photographer?
Me.
You are, Cant. And when did photography come into the reptiles?
I started taking photos when I was in high school, secondary school, and everything was about lizards for me then. So everything was my subjects that I chose were taking pictures of my lizards and developing the photos on my own in the darkroom. So it started then, and I've got a large collection of reptile books from over the years, very large collection. And what used to really annoy me was that a lot of the old pictures were sort of out of focus.
Yeah,
and
I get that.
Because I used to draw a lot. We're both good artists, and I wanted to create an image so I draw from it. But like, you get things that were blurred and out of place, and then like obviously they were reptiles that I couldn't see, or they were in reptile books, and we didn't have the species over here, so they were mostly American books. So that annoyed me. So I wanted to do something about that. But I think the major thing for me was when I was diagnosed bipolar when I was 30. Obviously taking heavy meds like lithium and stuff like that. Then I had really bad tremors in my hands, so I could no longer pick up a pencil, and I didn't have the concentration. And I thought there's bound to be a way, because I used artist therapy as well. So there's bound to be a way that I could capture the image of what I wanted, which was a lizard or a snake, but doing it quickly, sort of thing, without obviously being able to draw it because my hands were shaking. So I got my first, I started with like just normal digital cameras.
Yeah.
And then I got my first DSLR, and then quickly found out that I cannot use auto because that used to annoy. So it's all manual that I use. And I just learned how to use a camera. And it was giving me that satisfaction of using artist therapy and capturing the images and then sharing them basically on platforms like Facebook and stuff. Started with my friends and family, and people were saying, "Oh, you're quite good at this, aren't you?" And I was like, "Well, I don't know, really." And it went from there. It went from there, really.
I mean, let's be honest, your photos are outstanding, and you don't use photo editors at all for any of them, do you?
No, I can't use it to save my life. I can just about put my logo on, which someone done for me, and then I put it in transparent PNG or whatever it's called, and I can put my logo on, and that's it. Oh, I can crop a bit as well.
But yeah, no, I mean, you look at the photos.
My skills go.
But this is what I love about your photos, is you look at them, and for a lot of people to produce photos similar to the stuff you do, they take a snap, they put it in a photo editor, they run every possible filter they can through it, they tweak it, they move it and all that, and they get this outstanding photo. Whereas your stuff, you set your camera up to how you like it, you picture it, you do it, and bam, you've got the same, which shows that it's still an art form that people need to learn.
How I compose a photo is if I can see it in my, I think about it, and if I can see it in my head, I can generally nail the shot. Obviously, you're working with animals, so that's when the fun part comes in. But like what I've learned, because certain species don't move. Horned frogs, for example, they don't really move fast at all, and that's great. But if you're trying to catch something like a tongue flick, then you need to follow that animal. You need to sit there and you need to watch that animal first and learn its behaviors and get in tune with it so that you can follow it and then take pictures, basically.
Yeah.
Not all species are. We've got species here that you cannot photo because they'll just freak, and I'm not doing that for a picture. No way. Like, obviously, my animals mean more to me than just a picture. Oh, there's a cat. Certain things I can't photo because they won't allow me to, and I'm not stressing them out for the sake of a photo.
Yeah, not for your benefit at the end of the day.
No, that's it. No, if I'm going to freak them out, then I'm not going to just get a pic. It's easier with a phone than it is shoving a great big camera in their face. Like, it really is. But phones have made me lazy. I never had a phone, and I got my first phone only a couple of years ago because I wouldn't use one. And then I thought, well, it's mostly to take pictures of the cats, but it's easier to catch. It's easier to catch a reptile like in the morning before setting them out. You have to take them out of their. I often take them out and put them in my studio, my studio is great. It's on top of a cooker, and it's an old black T-shirt I've been using for about 10 years. And that's my studio. Yeah, it does work. Yeah.
I mean, it's like people with light boxes, don't they? With the black setup of the light box.
I can't stick them.
Do you use your cooker? Do you use your oven light though? Do you put your overhead oven light on when you're doing it, or do you just use your black?
I've got a big lamp. I've got a big lamp on a tripod that I use above it.
Okay.
And that's what I use for it basically. But I can't use a photo box. I think the cats are actually scratching my photo box at the moment. I think I'll give it to the cats, yeah.
Probably using it as a little house,
yeah.
Fair enough. And with your photos, do you just do it for your social media, or do you, Richard asked from At the Space, have you had any of them published anywhere?
No, I do. Once a year. I haven't done it for a couple of years, but normally once a year I'll do prints, and then the money goes towards Mind, the mental health charity. But I don't. I've never really approached anyone. A lot of people have approached me. There was a professor from America who used my eye pictures because he was doing a lot of.
Your eye pictures is what I first noticed about you guys.
Yeah, I love eyes. I absolutely love them.
They're fantastic.
But a lot of people have used it in education, for not just, for reptile talks, for kids talks, stuff like that. And I tell them, carry on, just credit me. I'm fine with that.
Yeah. No, because your photos are great. Can
we just pause there a sec? Can people confirm that they can see a video? Because Mikey's just said, is it audio only? So now I'm worried.
Oh.
Could you see a video, Nicola?
There is video.
I've got video. I just wanted to...
everyone. Got video?
Yeah, we've got video.
Mikey,
everyone can see
suck.
it.
Mikey,
don't do that, Mikey. It was nearly time for Blame Mac. Don't do that. So whilst I've just
sitting there ready and waiting.
Yeah. So whilst I've interrupted the flow of conversation, now we'll just do a quick check-in with everyone. We had a few more people join us. Wilson's Exotics has joined us. Mikey's joined us.
Momentarily.
And a few more. Catty says, when we were talking about you using art as therapy, Catty says, what a brilliant way to look at struggling to do something you love and finding a new way to do it. Critters Dan says, your photos are stunning. Hellfire Hurts, your photos are so crisp and clear. Wilson's Exotic says, she is Mr. Live. So what reptiles do morphology have?
Everything.
Lots. From Leos to Fiji iguanas, from corn snakes to rhino iguanas, some large colubrids. So lots of skinks. We like skinks.
Like skinks and we like rat snakes.
Yeah, skinks and rat snakes we like.
Rat snakes are probably my favourite colubrid.
I think so, and mine, really. Even the North Americans, like, obviously the Asian species, some of them are stunning, like, but yeah, I really do. Like, I dig even my black rat snakes. I really like rat snakes.
Yeah. I've got a peacock. I've got a peacoxy up here, Thai bamboo rat, and I never see him. He's a little male.
No.
He's got about 8 inches of substrate, and he hides. I see him once a week when it's feed day, and then I don't see him again. And he's brilliant.
Lucky. I think I see mine once every blue moon.
The only reason I see him is because I know he wants fed. It's the only reason I see him.
Yeah. It's like Sam's sunbeam snake. That's a cool thing.
Don't see it. It's a box of dirt.
It's a box of dirt, basically.
But if I put a mouse on the top of the dirt, the mouse disappears.
Yeah.
Yeah. Magic mouse fairy.
Sunbeam snakes are studied though to look at when they're not under the soil. And the iridescence of them is something else on sunbeams.
Oh yeah, they're nice, aren't they?
It'd be nice to see them
very nice.
capped with bread.
It would be.
Nice
we think ours is a female, but The only thing is, I don't like the musk on a sunbeam. They stink of onions. It's disgusting, the musk. It is totally oniony. You think someone had a kebab in here? It's disgusting.
That's amazing. I've never heard musk referred to that way from anything.
I've never heard musk described as a
kebab.
So
there's going to be someone sitting there with their kebab on Friday night going, I can't do this now.
Bow's Beastie says, no one seems to breed normal wild-type black rat snakes aside from Welsh morphology. I was looking for ages and asking all around until Sam and Canned had some babies. He's one of my favourite snakes. Beauty rat snakes, musk is wonderful. Oof. No. So whilst we're talking about the collection and we've had a quick overview of the collection, like what part of the collection are you most focused on working with at the moment, or establishing for breeding projects, if any?
To be honest, I'm a keeper at heart. I really am a keeper at heart. Breeding isn't the be all and end all to me. It's the keeping that's the be all and end all. And if they breed, that's a bonus. You know, I don't necessarily have to breed them. Some obviously some species are cohabbed because, you know, like the iguanas, the Polaris, my Fijis, things like that. And they do well. And, you know, they ultimately breed. You've got a male and a female. Guess what's likely going to happen? Like, you know, if it's a species that breeds and I think to myself, or me and Sam discuss it and say, there's too many of them out there, or they're a species that's going to sort of be neglected or something like that, then we choose not to incubate. That's how we do it. You know, and we cull the eggs, like.
It's real. Really, it's an ethical way to do it, because at least you're not, you know, if the animals have been cohabited for a long time and they're used to going through that breeding cycle and whatnot, you're not stressing them out. So that's a really nice way to look for it.
I don't want to. We don't want to add to. We don't want to add to the oversaturation of species either. You know. But yeah, so it's not just one species or things that I can't say it's one species or one group that we're particularly focused on, because we've both got different focuses and different projects. So, but we tend to kind of do it together as well, really. If you know, if one doesn't do it, the other one does. So it's kind of we just work in sync with the animals and with each other, basically. It's just how we go. So
and not only that,
there's one.
And it's I suppose the other thing as well is, like, because you've been together so long and you obviously work well as a couple, like you obviously know each other's ins and outs and where you want to be as well. So I work from home, so I've got more time with the animals, whereas my wife, she's at work. We speak, and I know where she wants to go with them and how she wants to. What she wants to do with them. So anything that, then hence we've got baby jumping spiders. It's something she's always wanted to try her hands at.
That's cool.
And it's you know, it's as much as I'm scared shitless of them, it's kind of me that's been dealing with them, because I know it's something she wants to do. And it, you know, it's part and parcel, isn't it? If, like it's not just a relationship or a partner, is it? It's teamwork, and it's what we do together.
Definitely. Oh yeah. It's teamwork here, really is, like, It
has to be. Sorry, I'm having fun with my kids at the moment.
No, you're all right. You're all right.
I want to set them on fire.
So when you're looking to bring animals in, do you bring in rescues, rehomes, or do you look for quality animals? What's the sort of mindset when you look to bring animals in?
That depends. Obviously, if it's something that we really want, it's normally that, saying, you know, a CITES species or something which is on our wish list. Then obviously we look at those. We're in a small rural community, but and anything local we will take in. We will quarantine, fecal sample the lot, and it either stays with us or it goes to someone we trust. Basically. So we do what we can for rehomes. And we've had, like, Sam's a vet nurse by trade, so we've had a lot of, you know, over the years we've had a lot of species, you know, common things, MBD, you know, burns, that sort of thing. You know, stuck eye caps, stuck sheds, stuff like that. That obviously we've taken in and rehabbed. You know, and the cases like that usually stay with us until they pass. You know, obviously if it's an animal that comes in and it's in no fit state, the poor things, you know, we take them to be put to sleep. Basically, that's how we do it. But saying that, I've got, like, I was on about black rat snakes before, which I love. We're actually getting the one that was from Midlands Reptile Rescue.
Jordan's place.
She's been stuck there ages. She has, bless her. So I'd done up a nice 5 foot, showed Jordan the setups for her. So it's just hopefully we can go sort of next weekend and go and get her anyway.
Jordan's just popped in the chat and he says, he says, I can't stop tonight, sadly.
Jordan.
Just wanted to wish the ladies a fun evening. I'll be catching up in the morning in the car.
All right, cool.
Cheers, Jordan.
Thank you, sir.
So, yeah, because it gets confusing. There's too many Jordans going on at the moment. You've got Jordan and Midland.
Jordans everywhere, basically.
You've got Jordan with JSL Chameleons, who I keep trying to call JLS for some reason. And then you've got Peculiar Pets Jordan.
Yeah.
They just appear
Rescue Jordan, Rehome Jordan, yeah.
There's just, you don't know a single Jordan, and all of a sudden they're everywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you guys are you're quite vocal, obviously, about rehome and rescues as well. Let's be honest here, because I've seen some of your posts. I've been in some of the conversations, and I'll be honest with you. But it's a difficult area, isn't it, to be honest with you, the rehome, because you've got people who are genuinely interested, people who want to do the best, who are not quite getting it right, but the heart's in the right place, and hopefully the education can come. Then you've got the arseholes who just want to flip animals and make a quick buck.
Yeah, those are the type that really grind my gears. They boil my piss.
We won't mention any names on at the moment, because that's probably not the best way to do it. But I know there are a few around that are very frowned upon, and there's a few that everyone raves about. I mean, obviously Midlands, Jordan the Midlands. I've seen his stuff, and he does it as he does this as an addition to his full-time job, doesn't he?
Yeah.
From what I understand. Yeah. So he's not trying to make a business out of this. He's trying to do it for the animals, which is great. Then, I mean, you've got the Axolotl lot who have just started an education centre that I've seen about. And it's something I'd like to find out a bit more about there. But on the whole, you don't hear about many of the rescues unless you're hearing the bad things.
No. I think with this, I think with how things are moving with the central network have you seen into that? The central network
Ollie's
of rehoming?
Ollie's group,
Ollie.
He's joined the Facebook.
Yeah, he sort of we reached out to him, actually. Sam reached out to him one night and got very wordy with him, and it went from there. So he was asking us about ideas and stuff like that as well. And it's something we really want to support. Even though we're not a rehome rescue ourselves, I like the idea of what he's trying to do. It's a big task.
Transparent.
Yeah, it's a big task, but it's surely better than nothing, than what it was before. It's highlighting the good. Highlighting the good that's out there.
And putting them into a place that you can find them.
Yeah, which makes it easily accessible. And if one rescue can't do it, then maybe they network together to make sure that that animal does get a decent home, a decent place where it can go.
And it's been a long time coming.
Within the rescues.
Yeah.
If they communicate,
No, exactly. I mean, it was something that we touched briefly on when we had Jordan, Peculiar Pets Jordan. I'll have to be a bit more clear for people. We touched briefly because obviously he does a bit of the rescue and the rehome and stuff like that through the shop. But I say a bit, probably 50% of his business is now
we've had numerous cases of him that have come to us, all absolutely fine, and nice species he's worked with to get them to a good place, and we've hopefully continued the good work that he started with them.
Well, yeah, no, it's nice to see that over the last, I'd say 6 months to a year, the hobby's actually started to make the right steps forward.
Definitely. It's going forward rather than it's going back, and that's nice to see.
It's been a long time coming, and it's needed it, because for a long time, no one ever had a good word to say about each other in the nicest way. No. Everyone always had wanted to knock everyone down, and it's something that's done the hobby dirty.
Yeah,
I think it's the best way to put it. So, with what Ollie's trying to do with the CNR or CRRN, Central Rescue, CRRN.
Yeah.
There's too many acronyms for everything as well. That's the other
But no, I think it's a very good idea, and we're definitely behind it, and
no, that's something I'd like to have a bit more of a chat with him at some point to find out a little bit more.
Yeah, it'd be cool to get him on,
That'd be sound. All right, so yes, we cover rescue, a very dangerous subject to go into sometimes.
I'm quite outspoken about it.
What are you trying to say, Mac?
I thought you'd finished the way you moved on from that. Sorry, so I was moving the conversation on. I thought you were ready for the next one.
Move on. Next question.
What's your standout animals that you've got? And it's a really difficult question.
Our favourites, our personal favourites, or like show-stopping animals that everybody go, oh, I like those.
Both.
Okay. What's your favourite?
For me, it's probably got to be Stenton, who's my 16-year-old Fiji iguana. He's a lad. He is. He's just cool as hell. I think it's Stenton for me. Yeah.
And the Fijis look good as well, don't they?
Yeah. I don't know. For me, it's all about Stenton. Yeah. And you?
I'm very proud of my Tegus.
Oh yeah, Sam's Tegus.
My pride and joy is my dinosaur, my rhino iguana. And I think my showstopper will be Rudy. I've got Diplodocus vittatus. He's an adult male and he's this big and he's beautiful.
Oh yeah, your little
Australian rock gecko.
Yeah,
he's wonderful.
They're fucking tiny, those things.
Yeah, I think I found the right one. Is that him?
That's him.
That's Rudy. Yeah, that's Rudy. Yeah. It's tiny.
He's like a tiny little cartoon dinosaur, and I love him.
Touching back on your Tegus quickly, what Tegus have you got?
Reds. I've got the Argentinian Reds. Puka and Tengu, their names are. Tengu's my lad. That's my first ever clutch of Tegus. That was last year. That was last season. I'm so incredibly proud of these guys. Massive ego boost when they hatched. I was like, oh my Christ. Real proud. Real proud. 27 total. They all got new homes. I worked with them every single day as much as I possibly could. I think the people that have my babies from last year will vouch for how well handled they were, how well socialised they were. I started off, I want everybody to have a puppy dog Tegu like my Tengu, because he's wonderful. So why can't everybody have one?
No, exactly. Because the problem with Tegus as well is if you give them an inch of room, they'll start taking the piss out of you, won't they? Especially as they're growing up. Because I've seen it before where there was one came back to a shop I was at, And basically, the only time that the owner interacted with it was when it was feeding time. So every time he walked into the room, the Tegu was a little bit aggressive.
Time.
And they're not stupid animals, are they? Let's be honest. They're pretty smart.
No, they've got it going on, Tegus have. They really have got it going on.
I think that's why I was so besotted with them right from the start and was so happy for them to get together and make some little babies, because they have got that intelligence. They're omnivores, aren't they? So they've got they know. Like Tengu will play up as soon as I come home from work. He's like, Mom, let me out, please.
The rhino guy was like that with you as well. Yeah, the rhino guy that drives me nutty. She's in a 12-foot viv, and as soon as it's nearly Sam's coming home time, she starts to play up. I'm just the feeder, but she starts to play up because she knows Sam's nearly home, and it's a routine like it is with the dogs with her when she comes out. Oh, there she is eating her carrots. Yeah, she's 16 this year. She is.
We've had her from 9 months.
Yeah.
Oh, she's cute. She's lovely.
Who's your old? So you've mentioned quite a few reptiles that have got a good age on them. Who and what's your oldest?
Oh, bless her. We sadly just lost Dodo. Dodo was a
Angulfer.
Cuban tree boa. That's it. And we actually got her off Yaz, and she came to us to retire, and she was born in, because we had the paper. Well, Yaz showed us the paperwork. She was born in 1989. So she was the same age as Sam, and she sadly just passed. So she was 36.
Yeah.
It's a good old age.
But mostly my corn snakes, like my oldest corn snake, got to 25. So
prefer things
I've got a lot of we've got a lot of things in their teens. Yeah.
Reptiles do go on for a lot longer than people realise, though, don't they? Especially if you get it right.
Yes, they do. Yeah. There's certainly they say that dogs and cats are a big commitment. It's like, yeah, right, okay. Try having,
Get yourself an Aldabra.
Tortoises. Yeah.
I mean, I'd love an Aldabra one day, but I'd have to find at least the next 7 generations to look after the damn thing.
I just want to touch.
That's it. Luckily for me.
I just want to touch on Chris's comment in the chat there. So he joked earlier and he said he recommends that you get a better camera because your photos are so good. And then he said that it's all AI. So the dig isn't it canned and Sam for the AI. The dig's at Andy and I. Because we've got a little bit of fire this week.
Right, okay.
Because one of our posts for some reason flagged up as AI.
Oh yes, I see that. Yeah, I see that.
So so Bow's Beasties, that's Chris just poking fun at Andy and I, not Sam and canned. just for a bit of context in that there.
Yes, Chris doesn't have a filter either.
Well, he's Scottish. Scots
yeah.
All right, fair enough.
Yeah, the minute you say Scottish, everyone's like, "Yeah, we get it. We're fine."
It's understandable.
I'm Welsh, so I don't get a filter. I'm born and bred Welsh. I don't sound it, but
where in Wales are you originally from, though, Karen?
It's on the Herefordshire border, so in between, it's on the English border. So I speak a bit like a farmer.
You're sort of more West Country Welsh than you are Welsh.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm up in Hereford tomorrow.
Oh, are you?
Yeah, because
that's where we live now in Herefordshire.
Yeah, because Richard, who has Arachnaspace, who was about earlier, his shop is in Hereford.
Oh, right.
So he does all the tarantula cribs and the reptile crib stuff from the States in there at the moment.
Yeah, wicked. Cool.
And he's looking to expand into other ventures with that shop as well. So I'm guessing he's not too far from you guys then.
No, I don't think so, no.
In the city industrialist.
Yeah.
He's in the Shell store. I can't remember exactly what. I just drive there. Hang on, I'm going to look up the address of the shop now. Because I'd suggest going and seeing him sometime because he's got some fantastic enclosures down there.
Oh, right, cool, yeah. That sounds funky.
And he, as I said, it's mainly invert stuff at the moment, but he's looking expanding. Right, Skyland Park, Hereford, HR2.
Oh, right. All right, cool.
So, like, Chris, good evening, pal. Thanks for dropping in. So
is that Chris Hogg's?
It is, yeah. He's got an early start tomorrow. He's
always got an early start.
Yeah, well, I don't know if he's driving or he's off to the farm for the horses. He's someone else that's got his fingers in a lot of pies. So I don't know what he's doing tomorrow. When we talk about photography, what was your first camera that you got to take the photos?
That I can't remember. But my first DSLR was a D90, Nikon D90, Nikon, whichever you want to call it.
Yeah.
D90, and I've just worked up. I've just worked up through the numbers, because no one has just one camera. Believe me, I still got my D90, or did I
be somewhere?
I'm sure I've got my D90 still. And then I sort of some models I found I just didn't like, so I got another camera basically.
Yeah.
But I've stuck to Nikon because I like the way they work. Well, I was saying that, I don't know how they work, but I just stick it on manual and do my thing, basically.
Yeah.
So I just like them. I just like Nikons because, like I said before, with my medication, my hands shake. I need this great big unit in my hand. So me to have like... Don't laugh. Sam's being childish.
Immature.
No, not that type of unit, Sam. So I need this big old great camera in my hands to stop me hand shaking.
Yep.
Yeah.
And what was
my favourite camera?
Yeah, go on.
My favourite camera is my D850. It's the one I use the most.
D850, nice. And that's
How
the
many cameras
DSLR.
have you got?
Yeah. I wouldn't have done mirrorless. They're a bit too lightweight for me. I'm gonna have to at some point, but I'm worried about breaking one really.
That's fair. And how many cameras have you got now then, Count?
Probably about 4, I think. About 4.
And you switch between them, but obviously you got your favourite that you go back to each time, I'm guessing.
Yeah, it depends. I mean, I'm agoraphobic, so I don't get out much. But sometimes if I'm feeling really well and stuff, and we do go out, say, to the beach or the dams or something, there's a nice, or in nature somewhere, then I'll take different cameras because I know that one could withstand being dropped in mud and one's my baby and that only goes out with protective clothes on and you know what I mean? So,
Yeah.
So it depends what I'm doing, what I'm shooting as towards what camera I use because I use a different one. I do astrophotography as well.
Okay.
I'll show you some of that sometimes of nebula and stuff like that.
Really
like Orion
interesting.
Horseheads and stuff like that. So that's obviously a different camera as well. So I've got different cameras for different things, really.
I guess with the agoraphobia, just to touch on that, with the amount of animals you've got in there, you don't need to leave the house to scratch the arty itch if you need to.
Nope, not really. No, I mean we don't have TV. I haven't had TV for years. But I'd rather watch the animals, to be honest.
Everything I love is at home. Why would I want to go elsewhere?
Yeah, like Sam just said, everything we love is at home, so why would we gonna go elsewhere? Yeah.
Unless you're picking up more stuff to add to the stuff you love at home, I guess.
Yeah, I can go on.
That's usually my job.
That's normally Sam's job. I get anxious terribly on the way back Think my house is burnt down. Think the dogs have escaped. Think the cats have escaped. Think things are dead. I'm not very good at going out because I get anxious on the way back. I'm okay going there, but on the way back, I get terribly, terribly anxious.
Basically, tranquilise you for the journey home.
Yeah.
Or don't go home.
Why not? Oh no,
all the things we love.
Yeah, I've got to come home. Yeah.
Bo's Beastie says,
yeah.
Cans want an insane telescope for better astrophotography. Ask her how many digits the cost was.
Oh, I broke it.
Oh no, you want one? Have you been?
Oh, the one that I want.
Oh, okay.
Oh, the
I
one
didn't
that
know you've been looking.
Yeah,
the one that you want.
That I want. A few thousand.
Are we talking
few
five
thousand.
figures?
I looked at Sam then, and Sam looked at me.
Is it one of them ones that you leave outside for hours? No, you're not going to spend like thousands of pounds on something you leave outside on its own for hours.
Yeah, but I'd have to get you to help me set it up anyway, because I'm no good at it.
I guess being in a rural area, at least you could set it up. And I guess with the astrophotography being in a rural area, you don't get the light pollution that we get in places like where we are. Because
yeah, where we used to live and where I used to live in Powys, they actually do a dark skies. It's a dark skies town because there's no lights basically at night there. Half of the street lamps are turned off, if not more. Obviously, good. I'm closer to a city here, so I would get some glow from it. But then it depends. I don't get that much from Hereford, really.
No,
it's that much glow because we're not. How far away from the city?
15 mile.
15 mile, maybe 10 miles, something like that. So
close enough when you need it, far enough for it not to be on your doorstep. Yeah, best way.
The perfect distance, really.
Best way.
Exactly.
We're just on the county borders, so between city and county. Where I live is two separate two separate local councils, and again close enough to be there if we need it, far enough for not to get the earache from the city. So it's really nice.
Yeah, I don't do people, I don't do neighbours, and I don't do neighbours either. We don't have neighbours.
I would love not to have neighbours. I would love not to have neighbours.
Between us and the neighbours.
The last 3 places I've lived, we've not had neighbours because, obviously we've got 4 dogs, so we have to think of the dogs. Not that the dogs are noisy, but if they want to bark, they can bark. There's nothing to, no one to tell them to shut up or whatever, like.
Except for me.
Apart from you.
Yeah, apart from me. But, that's the thing is with because we've got a lot of animals, because animals are a way of life, I've learned to distance myself from things like neighbours specifically, because what have you got? And then things start. I don't know.
You've got to be nice.
Like
You've got to be social.
Yeah, well, yeah, it's not that. It's just you get like people who don't take kindly to it, and then the RSPCA comes around. We've had the RSPCA loads of times, and they've always been happy. Because because
you piss people off.
Yeah, it's because I piss people off, basically, and they're like, I'm calling the RSPCA on you. Do it then.
Hi, good luck.
Do it.
The RSPCA don't know what they're looking at anyway.
Sorry?
The RSPCA don't know what they're looking at half the time anyway.
I know, yeah.
Bo's Beasties has said, could you ask about future keeping and breeding projects? Canned has some awesome stuff planned for the future. I'm sure folks would love to hear about it. And Donna said, oh, yes, Mac, ask. Good evening, Malcolm. I seen you sneak in there earlier. Hope you're well. So what's the future breeding and keeping projects that that we need to hear about?
Future, or like, well, this season we've got
Bows, give us a clue. Give us some prompts so we can prompt them up.
It depends whether I can get them, but I'm after a pair of crested Fiji iguanas.
Okay.
It depends if I can get them over here.
Somebody somewhere will help with that.
I'm sure somebody somewhere will help with that. Also, I quite like the look of. We don't keep any monitor species because obviously we've got so many. We can't give a huge. you know, I can't really. I'm not the type of person to say, I want that, so I'm going to get rid of X amounts of animals. I'm not that person. We're not those people. Like, but I'm sure we've definitely got room for something like blue tree monitors. More Fijis. At one point I ended up with 18 Fiji iguanas, but that was just me. I haven't bred them for 10 years now, so I've already got 4 back now. So they're working their way up in numbers. I'd like the Fijis, the Bula Bula, and I've got obviously the Lao Bandits that are breeding, and I'd like the crested Fijis if I can get some. What do you want?
All of the things.
All of the
No
things.
bugs, especially no water bugs.
Especially no water bugs she doesn't want. No, what do you want?
I don't know yet. I'll decide.
Oh, she'll decide.
Clock's ticking.
She'll just spring it on me. Sorry?
Clock's ticking. Tick-tock. We need to know before the podcast is over.
What do I want? Something that I want. I'll swap you your blue tree monitors for blue tail monitor. I have one of those.
What, there we are?
Yeah.
Well, we can get them.
The blue tails are nice, aren't they? Because the blue tails are nice because they have multiple colours coming down from their head. They kind of like they scratch that itch on everything, don't they? They scratch that itch on everything. You know, you start off with your yellow, and you start off with your blacks into your yellows, greens, and blues. Yeah, really nice. I was adamant that I wanted blue tree, the Macarai. I was adamant on it, and then I seen a Biak monitor, the Cordensis, and those colours were just incredible. It was neither blue nor green. It was absolutely spot on. So I think if we ever decide to get a larger lizard, it will probably be looking for a capture bred Biak, I think.
Cool.
Cordos are actually insane. Yeah, the Cordenses they are great. Really good.
Like they give them like things that they can use their little hands.
Yeah, they're clever, aren't they? Yeah.
I'd like that. No, I'd like watching that behaviour. Definitely, like their interaction with their environment, like more so than just sitting out and basking.
Yeah,
does that make sense?
Yeah, I picked up some green bellies, green kill bellies over nearly 2 weeks now, and seeing the difference between an intelligent lizard compared to, and I feel bad saying this, but like the tokays and the bearded anole, they're like that. They just sort of they're there. They don't seem to have so much on. You know, especially the tokays. Like Sheila, I don't see the minute I turn up, she's off of there, and then Big Bruce, he tolerates me. The bearded anole, it's just so docile. It doesn't care. I can leave the windows. I can leave the vivs open. It just sits there. But these green keel bellies, these green belly keels, whatever it is, that
they're cool.
I sat there and I watched it for 20 minutes, figuring out how to get out of the viv. So it's kind of given me a new itch that I didn't know I wanted or needed to get an intelligent lizard.
Threat display.
Sticking their bright red tongue out.
They look like Gene Simmons from Kiss.
Yeah.
Yeah, they do, don't they? Yeah.
Yeah, they've got these white lips and they open their mouth.
Until you say it, no one pictures it. The minute you say it, everyone can see it.
Yeah. One of them actually stepped onto my hand for the first time today. So I've been tongue feeding them this week, and I got one to step onto my hand today, and I think it didn't realise what it done till it done it. And then the minute it stepped foot onto me, and then I haven't seen it since. So it's the wood somewhere. So
it's recovering from its ordeal.
Yeah, 100%.
Just quickly touch back on the monitors. I'd love personally to go. It's not monitors; it's the giant sailfin dragons. I want.
Gary's are stunning, aren't they?
They're absolutely next level.
Congratulations to Gary on the
to Gary. We keep a celebensis. Yeah,
we've got the girl that just looks at you with her human like.
Yeah, she's like Godzilla.
Yeah, they are.
they are on my hit list of animals to get at some point. But
she's one that I can't photograph.
She freaks.
She freaks,
and we don't want any of that.
She hasn't got a rough snake or anything like that, and she will freak. And I'm worried that if I put my camera in her face, even if I put my phone in by her bib, she'll leg it. Like she will leg it. So I just
look, don't touch.
Yeah, look, don't touch.
My dream for them is to get a 1.2 and build one giant viv and have it so I've got sliding separators so that if I do need to split up, I don't have to go in there. I can just slide the boards in like they have with
cool idea,
like they do with the King Cobra enclosure that they've got at London Zoo now. They've got the drop-down shutter rollers so the keepers can go and work without disturbing the snake too much. Because I've always do that with crocodile monitors as well. I mean, I'm way off being able to do that. But to have a male and female croc monitor in one viv that you just put a divider in, you pull it out when you want to pair them, and you pull it back in when you're done. And you just have it so everything. You interact with them, don't get me wrong, but when breeding comes in, you don't have to get involved.
Probably best if you don't something of that size as well.
The only thing with the croc monitors is if you've seen Hemsworth, he's got a room that's probably bigger than the full downstairs in most people's houses. You know, we're not. You know, they should be some kind of registration sale that they shouldn't be sold to the public. Croc monitors are Nile croc
monitor. In my opinion, minimum for a single croc monitor would be 12 long, 12 deep, 8 high.
Yeah, you know the
minimum.
When I tell people who don't know about reptiles and stuff, and I said like there's lots of ways that I explain how dangerous these reptiles can be, especially your croc monitors, and I'm like, if I want to own a ostrich, I need a dangerous wild animal license. If I want to own an animal that has got a bigger skull and bigger teeth than a Komodo dragon, I can go down the local pet shop and buy one.
Yeah.
$7,000, you can walk away with it today.
Yeah. You know, and that's, you know, when people say that we need to police ourselves better, 100%. And this is where Reptiles coming in. You know, Reptiles have got their large lizard policy, which is great to go with their large constrictor policy. You know, there are people out there doing the right things on this stuff. And it's, you know, it's good to see that there is accountability being educating for accountability, I think, when it comes to things like Raptor and responsible reptile keeping, not so much. You know, they don't, although Tony and Vicky work very hard, they're not writing these policies. They're involved in the discussions around them, especially with Tony working alongside with Raptor. He's on the board, isn't he? But, you know, Raptor 100%, they're doing wonders for the industry, the trade industry. Accountability and responsibility.
It's like giant species. You could go into a pet shop tomorrow and walk out with a baby berm or a baby retic or a baby anaconda. And there was one reptile store trying to sell me it must have been about 6-month-old yellow anaconda because my daughter loves yellow snakes. Now, we didn't know what we were talking about. I might have walked away with it. There was no chance it was going to happen. But these animals, to me, need to be licensed. This is my personal opinion, but anything that can get over 10, 12 foot, realistically, is not.
It's a serious reptile. It's a serious animal, like.
Yeah,
it's a serious animal, then.
You could go out and buy a baby berm that's what, 18 inches long now. Oh yeah, that'll be fine. You can put it in this 4x2 for now, but it would need bigger. People don't take into account the fact that snake could hit 14, 15 feet.
Yeah.
And you ain't going to cope with that on your own. I've got 2 9-foot dwarf retics behind me. I'm comfortable with those, but I'm 6'2", 150, 160 kilos. I'm not small. But I wouldn't. My partner, she's 5'3", and I'm not even going to state her weight because if I get it wrong, I'll get stabbed.
Oh, gee, you shouldn't have even mentioned. You shouldn't have even mentioned it.
She's doing the Slimming World stuff at the moment.
Andy,
she's doing really well. She's dropped serious amount of weight at the moment. She's doing really well.
Good on her.
But
Good on her.
One of them, yeah, the female, fine. I wouldn't be someone. The male, I wouldn't have anyone have him out without me being there. And I'll never breed them because I don't know their percentages. But 9 foot's probably the biggest I'd allowed to have at home, if that makes sense.
Yeah, fair enough. Fair enough.
Don't forget, though, when you look at something like 9 foot, you know, some of your smaller, thin-bodied rat snakes can get there. Some of your smaller colubrid species. It's not, and this is why it's so hard to police, I suppose, because it's not necessarily the length of the snake that's the issue, but the size of the body as well. You know, that's, you know, look at vine snakes. You know, you're talking what, 5-6 foot for a vine snake. You know, it ain't gonna harm you. You know, we're talking pencil thin here, aren't we? So it's difficult. Yeah. That's and this.
It's a judgmental shoelace.
Yeah, you know,
we kept them for a while when we had geckos. Yeah,
you know, and it's really
feeders.
It's really difficult, isn't it? To say where the line is on. And this is why when the FBH released their recommended minimum enclosure size, they actually released that so no one else would. And this is, people don't understand this.
Right.
Because at least they understood the majority of the species, if not all the species. So they put something in place which was very rough and ready around the edges. But what that did do is stop non-animal people putting in unrealistic expectations.
Yes.
So it's really difficult when to say that we need licensing on large animals. Like, that it's more than just length, and so, you know, there's so many nuances around them. And I'm glad that I'm part of that process of making those policies, because I think those that do
keep everyone happy.
Those that do will not get it all right. 100%. 100%.
It is difficult because at the end of the day, we're all going to have different opinions. Heavy-bodied snakes come into a different category again, but I mean, you think about we were talking to Chris Hogg last week, and some of the colubrids he's got. They get big, and they are feisty.
Yeah, we got like our king rats. They're big old beasties.
Yeah.
You got king rats?
Some of my favourites to photograph. Yeah, I've had them years and years now. Years and years. I always wanted one. That's one snake I always wanted, and I've done well. This sounds really big-headed, but I've taken a picture of king rat, one of my king rats, and I just love it because it's on a yellow background as well.
He's never a search for this.
No, I'm messaging. I'm messaging Hellfire.
I don't know whereabouts it is on Welsh Morphs, but it's one that I love. But yeah, they're beastly old things. They are.
They are.
They're not a beginner snake.
What I love.
They're not.
What I love about the king rats is their head. You know, that it's almost cobra-like. It's almost cobra-like. The size of the scalation on the head and the shape and formation it comes down to, it is definitely almost cobra-like. It's amazing. That is the one thing that drew me to those snakes. That apart from the attitude, because I love things with personality and attitude. And it was actually Chris Hogg's that I seen. And it was biting his hoodie for the fun of it. But yeah, the scalation on the head.
I like the scalation. I love the eyes as well. I've taken a macro shot of the eyes, of the eyes of the king rat.
I'm just having a look now to see if we can spot it.
If a snake had expressions, I think it would have a resting bitch face.
Yeah, they have got resting bitch faces, haven't they? Yeah, definitely.
100%. And it's one that I want. The wife, not so much. In fact, it's a firm no.
Oh, right.
The wife's got several levels of no. And the firm level of no is before I finish the conversation or I've just started. It's like, I can start a conversation and you can see her thinking about it and it's like, no. And then it's the minute I mention rat snake, I get as far as saying rat and it's no. Because she knows exactly what I'm going to say. So the fact that I go...
with my centipede.
It's
yeah, that's a bit like with my centipede. I
get away with so much. I get away with so much. I don't want to take the piss on that, because if I take the piss on that, it'll be a blanket no across everything, and we don't like blanket
See,
pants.
I always get my own way.
It's easier to ask for forgiveness than permission.
No,
She said I wasn't allowed more than eight cats, and I've got 11 now.
I fucking hate cats. Honestly, I've got one.
To a 12, but I've already got that planned. I absolutely adore indoor cats.
Bo's Beastie says
rehome cats as well, haven't you?
Bo's Beastie says rehome the
he
wife.
Was rehome, he was, yeah. Dorian the screaming teabag, he is.
Screaming teabag. Bo's Beastie says I've got to rehome the wife, and I'm not too. I know when to admit I'd be beaten and I'd be lost without her, so I can't do that. She keeps me grounded to a point where I do well, so we can't rehome her, unfortunately. She does all right.
That's how it should be. Yeah, that's how it should be. I might trade her in for a younger model. Yeah, I'm thinking about it, but.
Yeah, no, we got 2 cats a year and a half ago, 2 years ago, and they were to go and live in the rat shed for anything that escapes. And no word of a lie, it had been shit weather the entire week, and then because I picked up these cats, it was fucking red hot. And I thought, I can't put these little fuckers in the shed. So, and I knew it. No. The minute they come into the house, they wouldn't leave the house.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
I love cats.
One of them went to my brother's. Is now called Cheese. So they've got cheese and onion.
All right.
And then we've got we kept one Hamish, big ham. So, but I don't know if you seen my message this week actually talking about cats. So I had some friends come and pick something up, and I'd noticed that the grass was cut. So I went out to pick up some grass for the locust and the crickets. And this old deer's walking past, and she went, "Excuse me, have you got a ginger cat?" I says, "I have, love." She went, "What's his name?" I said, "It's Hamish." She went, "He's a lovely cat." She went, "I've bought him some treats." I says, "Have you?" She went, "Yeah, I've got him some dreamies. I hope you don't mind." And I says, "Nope." I said, "We've had to stop feeding him on an evening now because I know he's getting fed elsewhere." She went, "Oh, please do, because I won't want to see a fat cat." I thought, well, stop feeding him then. So then I said to her, I said, "Are you giving him chicken wings by any chance? Because he brought me one home the other day." She went, "No, that's the neighbour. He's got 3 houses that I know of." So he comes.
All mine are indoor because I'd feel a bit of a. I feel a bit of a hypocrite if I let mine out, because obviously I adore wildlife, native wildlife as well. So they'd just be into the birds and everything, and I can't have that. Living so rurally, I can't have that at all. And especially not to catch lizards. So mine live indoors. They've got more than enough things of enrichment. So they're really happy kitties.
Yeah, I went up the back of the garden this morning, and I found his feeding spot where he's caught wildlife. So I wasn't particularly impressed, but he's doing what a cat does, isn't he? He's doing what a cat does.
Yeah,
I'd be concerned letting the Maine Coon out anyway, because it brings back ramblers. And
my kitten. My kitten is my Maine Coon. He's 7 months and bigger than the rest now.
Yeah, a Maine Coon isn't bringing back a mouse, he's bringing back a badger.
Or a backpacker.
Yeah, backpackers, cyclists, that sort of thing,
Yeah, no, not letting him out. Hellfire Herbs and... Go on.
Sorry, go on. I was going to say, touching on the ask forgiveness, not permission, that's kind of what I did the other week with the Skull of Pumpkin.
Yeah.
Because we'd spoken about it, everyone was telling me no. Everyone was telling me no. I went to Taunton with the mission to get one, and I bought it and then showed her that I got it.
That's an idea.
No. They arrive in the post now as well, and I ain't going to know it. Could just appear
Yes. Spider Shop have got a great selection at the moment.
I'm telling you now, if any large spiders appear, I am posting them to someone, because I'm not having them. No chance. No chance. Absolutely not.
I'm getting you an OBT for your birthday.
I can't have an OBT. I've got an Archie.
But it's orange, and you love orange.
I had an OBT before.
I love orange.
No, I'm not a shitbag.
Orange.
I'm not a shitbag. I've got an 8-year-old autistic son who's not scared of anything. He can walk into my reptile room and he will open anything up and get them out, including the Mexican black king snakes.
Okay.
My Mexican black king snakes are tame because of my son, because he would get them out.
Right, okay.
I would get them out. He would come in, he would get them out, and if one went to bite them, here, Daddy, you can have this one, it's bitey.
All right, okay.
So there is no way on earth I can get away.
Like her.
There's no way on earth I can have an OBT. So we've had a snake on the trampoline outside. He took it out there to explore. And the other week, I was on the phone to Andy, and I come into my snake room, my reptile room, my office, and one of my little Starbucks cup here was lying on the floor, on its side, and my female Darth Vader mantis was missing. He had it out exploring. So there is absolutely no way on this earth I could justify bringing in anything that's slightly venomous or intoxicating.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, I understand.
It's a fair that, and I'm allergic to hog noses, so I imagine I'm not going to do I'm not going to do very well with anything else. But firstly, it's
okay.
The welfare of the boy. So it is.
Yeah.
The animal room's his safe space. Yeah. When he comes in here, his attitude changes, his mentality changes. It goes from up here to down here, and it's. I don't want to put something in place where he can't do that. So
no.
Any of the big breeders that I've got going, any of the big royals, the females are a bit spicy this time of year. So I've actually printed some tags. So I've got little red tags, and he knows that if I've got a little red tag on them, he can't go in that one because they're spicy.
Okay, so that's a good idea.
Yeah, it's all visual cues, so it is.
Yeah, we need lots of red tags.
Yeah. It's 10:15. Where does do you know what? Like the time flies when we're on here, doesn't it?
It does. It does, doesn't it?
I've got some quick fire questions then to finish off with.
Yeah.
Favorite. So obviously an answer from each of you. Favorite species or group?
Fiji iguanas.
Fiji iguanas.
Fiji iguanas for me. Yeah, iguanas as a whole for me.
Yeah.
Geckos.
Geckos for Sam.
Fantastic. Most underrated reptile.
For me, that's got to be the humble leopard gecko. I love them. I've kept them for years and years and years, and they're just easy. They're happy. They thrive. You can give them loads of enrichment. They're just brilliant. I think they're brilliant. Yeah.
Corn snakes.
Corn snakes, Sam. Fair enough.
Normals.
Normals and wild types I love. All my lizards are wild types because I get, apart from the two new ones, they're blue face, but everything else is normal. And it's because I get something different from the lizards from what I get from the royals. You know, it's a completely different mindset.
I understand that. Yeah.
So yeah, all the lizards are normal. Okay, one for you, Cant. Dream species to photograph.
I think it probably would be a crested Fiji iguana for me. Yeah, it would be. Yeah, and to highlight a lot of to do a series of macro shots as well to highlight the different key areas like the eyes, the contrast between the different colours, contrasting between the different types of scales, that sort of thing. So yeah, it probably would be Crested Fiji for me, yeah.
That's really cool. Really cool. And for the non-photographer part of the duo, Sam, have you got anything that you would like to photograph, or are you just happy with taking the snaps that you do?
I'm just happy to be here.
I'm just enjoying the ride, yeah?
And if you could change one thing in the hobby instantly, what would it be?
How animals get sort of pushed and passed around, especially normals. I think it's people, the price on their heads. Do you get what I mean? Like, why is that normal royal not? Why is it just because it's not? See, I've always liked to highlight the more common species, and people say, "What's that?" And I'll say, "That's a corn snake eye." You know what I mean? So why is that? It's still a living, breathing animal as far as I'm concerned. It needs to be given as much respect, as much care, as much enrichment as a $50,000 million morph. Yeah,
it's understandable.
So I'd like to see animals treated equally, and I know it won't happen, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, I do, I do, and as you can see, and I'm very open about it, but I use racks for my royals. But you will be pleased. You will be pleased to know we have one normal royal, who's my son's, who's currently sat in a 3-foot arboreal viv in the hallway. And
lovely, cool.
That's our normal. And the reason we've done that is, one, is she's my son's pet, and two, if I have people that come to buy a pet, I can say this is how a pet is set up, rather than a breeding facility. Yes. So I can show them a nice setup as well. So that's why I do that.
Yeah.
And it's you see that just before you see that before you walk into the office / reptile room. And she uses every inch of that enclosure. So she does every inch of it. We often see her up basking on the higher branch. And I know 3 foot's not very high. Can you call something a boreal if it's 3 foot off the ground? Probably not. But she uses it. The difference is though, she's got this 3 foot box, not the savannas and the plains of Africa to go around. So, and also, it's a never ending debate, isn't it? Never ending debate. But it's there so people can see it. And then 2 final thoughts. What does the hobby need more of right now?
Communication between and unity, I think.
It's a big one this week, isn't it, Andy?
That there are.
Yeah, that's the one we're pushing for.
It is a big one this week.
That there are with the powers that be and stuff. Yeah, it does need. This divide is bullshit. It needs to stop. Basically,
people can and will do things differently.
Yeah, people can and will do things differently, but those type of people are getting to be a minority now. People are pushing for more ethics, more ethicals. Yeah.
So
we want to work together. We want to be able to keep these animals.
We've had quite a few discussions with Chaz over the last 3-4 months whilst we've been doing this. And Chaz put it brilliantly, that instantly made us understand it really, really well, that you've got the polar opposites of either side. And before, these polar opposites were separated by a massive divide. Well, that massive divide isn't so massive anymore. That massive that mass divide is majority of people working, talking together. And it's just the outliers now. And it made so much sense when he said it that way, that the people on the outsides, on the fringes, are less and few and far between, and that accumulation in the middle now isn't the divide. That's people coming together, and it was so good to hear. It was so good to hear and see that, and it's been one of our goals that we want to bridge gaps between these different niche communities. There's no reason, and a lot of the Scottish ladies that join us week in, week out, I met them through a Scottish royal group and they actually keep a mass diverse collection of animals, and they've come out, you know, and it's amazing the people that we're managing to bring together for conversation, and we hope that we can continue to do that. Andy's been talking in length actually with another royal breeder via Facebook, and she's saying the exact same thing. We need more unity together, and we're really looking forward to seeing what we can do with this. Richard from Arachnospace, an invert keeper. We've had Micro Exotics, an invert keeper. You know, we've got so much lined up where it's not this species or that species. We're trying to be as diverse as we can, not just keepers, but breeders, not just breeders, but shops, not just shops, but manufacturers and brands. And, you know, we're all here for the same reason. And I'm hoping that we, not just me and Andy, that the community that we're building will help and grow and pull more people into that. And it's such a great place to be at the moment, seeing everyone talk and get on and be respectful. We've just had a conversation about racks. You don't agree with them, but you're not sitting here telling me that I'm a shit keeper and I need to do better. You understand why I do it. You understand, you know, I've explained that I've explained that I've got a normal and an arboreal viv to show people how they should keep it.
Exactly.
And we can have these controversial conversations as long as we are respectful about it. And I think the community at the moment is so much more approachable and understanding, I think, than what it used to be 2 years ago, 3 years ago. And it's definitely heading in the right.
I'm up for most things as long as it's not detrimental to the animal, basically.
Yeah, 100%.
Anything else,
100%.
You know what I mean? That's what it's all about, the animals for us, and it always will be. Like,
the thing is, there's more than one way to skin a cat, as they put it. And to look after an animal, and we discussed this before, you've got adequate, better, and the best. None of us are ever going to hit the best, because if you hit the best, you're literally in the wild with them. We can't replicate that 100%.
We've got to realise that they are in captivity, and basically.
I hate the saying minimum. Yeah, we mentioned that before, because minimum standard just sounds like it's the lowest of the low. We should all just get rid of that way of saying it. Nothing should be minimum. It should be an adequate to thrive scenario, and then anything beyond that is better.
Yes. Yeah, I
think that's where we need to. That's where we need to move the playing field to. Minimum requirements, the adequate requirements for thriving. Sounds so much better, and it takes away. And when you look at a lot of the people who oppose the hobby, and whether it be reptiles, lizards, inverts, mammals, avian, everything's always, well, why is that the minimum? Well, if you haven't got minimum as an option, that takes away that argument immediately. This is what is adequate for the animal to thrive. But these are the options to better that, change the whole outlook of how the hobby is portraying itself, be it through shops, breeders, keepers, manufacturers. If everyone just decided tomorrow to drop the minimum and go with that way of saying it, you'd see a full change and turn in the way people approach the hobby from an outside perspective. Because people who I come from an equine background. Now, ideally, for a horse, you'd have.
He's a typical looking jockey, isn't he?
Oh, you know. I've done it all, not jockey.
Show jumper. Anyway. Can see you doing that, Andy.
I've done show jumping, I've done cross country, I've done dressage, believe it or not.
You look like a typical equine rider.
Yeah. But a horse's average is, they recommend 1 acre of land per horse. Now, when you break that down, football field, so like your Manchester United football field, that's 1 acre.
Right.
And that's for 1 horse.
Right.
Now, we're giving that much space to an animal that just grazes on grass. That shows that the space that we can give to other animals as a minimum, that's a minimum, They don't call it a minimum. They call it that's requirement.
Right. Okay. Yeah. Get you.
You see what I'm saying? They don't say a minimum of an acre. It requires an acre. Like
right. Yeah.
Boroughs, they recommend that it is required for an acre for 2 capybaras, and that acre be split into land, water, and inside. So if other people are getting it that way, why can't the reptile hobby?
Yeah, I understand what you're saying. Yeah.
It's a very roundabout way of explaining it, but
we need to scrap that minimum saying, definitely. Yeah.
Minimum shouldn't exist. Nothing should ever be minimum.
No.
Because minimum means that you are purposely going out the way to give it the least amount you can.
Yeah.
If you went into a pet shop and you went to buy your first, leopard gecko, and you went, right, I'd like to buy a leopard gecko. What's the minimum I need to keep it? You're going to go, why are you going for the least? What?
Yeah,
that's not the way to ask it.
No, it just doesn't work, does it? No.
I think it's something that we as a hobby have got wrong for far too long.
Definitely, yeah.
Where can people find you?
Hereford.
Facebook, Instagram,
both. Yeah.
And is it just Welsh Morphs?
I'm getting to. Yeah. I mean, I want to apologise to everyone that for the last couple of years, Welsh Morphology has been quiet. Because we've had a lot of things going on. We've had life, we've had moving. I was just getting back into photography. Then sadly last year my mum died. And then I kind of pulled myself out of it a bit. And then 8 months later my dad died. So that was a bit of a shitter. So I've lost my 2 parents within 8 months of each other. And I'm doing the whole grieving thing, but I really need, for my own mental health, to get back into this.
Bow's Beasties has said, I've got to stop you right there. There is nothing to apologise for. Don't be sorry.
Oh, bless him.
And I second that. I
just wanted to explain to people why I've been so quiet. Really,
you don't need to explain yourself to nothing. People love looking at your photos, and I don't think there's going to be anyone that says anything otherwise than you do great photos. So that's all that matters.
Relatively old.
So
you'll get it.
So
yeah, I've just got to get the buzz again.
Get the mojo back.
Definitely, it'll come.
So your style of photography on the rack.
So this is a M.A.D Exotics call to action. If you want
a few of spiders.
This is you have taken a few spiders. I seen one earlier that it was holding a Moriel worm in its mouth. I think it was. Great photo.
Oh right, yeah.
Great photo, but still scary as fuck. Listen, if you aren't following Welsh Morphology, jump onto Facebook, jump onto Instagram, drop them a like, comment, share, do all that great stuff. Follow the socials. And last piece before we sign out is, what advice would you give to your younger selves if starting out again?
Don't listen to the negativity, and my one thing is keep for yourself. Not what's trendy, not what's new, morph. Keep for yourself what you want. So go with what you want. Follow your heart. If you've got a dream species or something you really want to work with, whether it be a corn snake, crop monitor, something outlandish, something like jumping spiders, then do it. Then do it, but do it for yourself. Not because of so-and-so's got one or the current trend or whatever. But yeah, do it for yourself. Keep for yourself.
Fantastic.
Agreed. Completely agree on that one.
And on that note, this has been M.A.D Exotics Podcast, hosted by keepers for keepers, with keepers on board. Anything to sign out with, Andy?
No. Just see you next week for Chaz.
Can Sam, any final words?
Thank you, everyone, for joining. Really,
thank you.
Yeah, thank you for making us feel most welcome.
Putting faces to names help things.
It does. It's so good. That's why I love these community spotlights.
Can you see that?
These community spotlights.
My daughter's got the pink one of that.
Is it? Oh, right, yeah, cool. Yeah,
because
we're repping Chaz.
And there was a lot of love in the chat earlier for Uncle Chaz, as they were all calling him. So Chaz will be joining us next week for a birthday special.
Can't wait.
Yeah, it's for my birthday next week, isn't it?
It is.
Wicked.
So
next Saturday's my birthday. So
that's why we've got Chaz on for a good one. Right, everyone.
I pulled the birthday card to knuckle him down. Because he's a hard man to knuckle down.
He is, isn't he? He really is. He really is.
Yeah. He's a busy man.
He is. Although you can't complain when you're busy when you're in the States attending Tinley. It's a good kind of busy, that, isn't it?
Yeah, no, that's a different kind of busy.
That's a good kind of busy.
Yeah.
I'm sure it's not the same feeling when he's sat for 4, 5, 6 hours writing 90-page documents. I swear that's not the same mentality you'll have.
No.
Right, folks, on that note, we'll see you on the next one when we're looking at you. Peace.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.